Tonight at Omaha Bryan on homecoming, they welcome in a victory. For the first time in 24 games, Omaha Bryan picks up a victory over fellow OPS school Omaha Benson 24-21 as Hector Alvarado with a 28-yard field goal at the horn. Welcome to Omaha Bryan. There's John Schreiner. I'm Gary Sharp. What an interesting game, and we kind of thought it was going to be like that before we kicked off tonight.
Well, it really was. I mean, it was truly a back-and-forth contest. Lots of big plays, lots of big mistakes, and some great defensive performances turned in by a pair of linebackers. And a couple of big performances by some wide receivers as well. That was Brandon Ashley, who we highlighted in our open today. He scored a touchdown late, and it looked like it might be the game winner for Benson. Benson got a little bit loose with the football, and then a big turnover late, picked up by Omaha Bryan's Jonathan Clausel. Returned it all the way into Benson territory. The Bears would score to tie the game. They needed a two-point conversion to tie. The two-point conversion to Cole Wrigley was good. And we were knotted up at 13.
But then mistakes.
Another turnover late as Benson was going in to try and win the game. He just couldn't hang on to the ball in the second half, Gary. They ended this game with 4 turnovers. 3 interceptions thrown in the red zone. And could not pull off the victory for Benson. This was late. Benson was driving. Looked like they were going to put this game on ice. Interception deep in their own territory. Bryan took over. And then the field goal from 28 yards. Hector Alvarado, he'd only made 1 all season. And that one's through. The losing streak for the Bryan Bears is over.
24-21. Bryan moves to 1-6. Benson falls to 3-4. It had been 23 straight games that Bryan had come up empty. Earlier this year, Benson snapped a 26-game losing streak. But tonight, it belongs to the Bears. Big thanks to all of our Game Time crew. For my partner, John Schreiner, I'm Gary Sharp. We move on to Week 8. Next week, Omaha Creighton Prep and Papillion La Vista South. As you see, the game-winning field goal for Alvarado, and it would have traveled more than 28 yards. And Bryan is victorious. We'll talk to you next week with another edition of the Game of the Week here on Game Time.